After 18 years together, my wife chose another man. She never saw this coming. The phone vibrated on the kitchen counter. Once, then again. I watched it like it might bite me. It was past midnight. The house was quiet in that way that only comes after years of shared routines. Her slippers by the door, the hum of the refrigerator, the faint smell of detergent we'd used for nearly 2 decades. I didn't touch the phone. I already knew who it was. I could feel it, a pressure behind the eyes, a tightening in the chest, the old animal instinct that wakes you before the alarm, before the lie has time to dress itself. The message preview lit the screen. I can't keep doing this. He's starting to suspect. No name, no emoji, just a sentence that had no business existing in my kitchen. I didn't pick it up. I didn't need to. The silence between the vibrations told me more than any confession ever could. 18 years doesn't end with shouting. It ends with quiet mistakes, with carelessness, with people forgetting that someone else has been watching them breathe for most of their adult life. Footsteps upstairs, soft, familiar, her cadence. I could hear it, the hesitation, the calculation. She knew something had shifted, even if she didn't know what. People always sense the moment they lose control. They just don't understand it until later. She came down, wrapped in the robe I bought her on our 10th anniversary, stopped when she saw the phone. "Everything okay?" she asked. Her voice was steady, too steady. I smiled. "Yeah," I said, "just work." The lie passed between us like smoke, thin, poisonous, invisible to anyone who hadn't learned how to breathe it in. Inside, something old and patient woke up. Not anger, focus. 18 years builds a rhythm you don't question. You stop checking footsteps, stop wondering why someone smiles at their phone. You tell yourself that comfort is trust, that predictability is loyalty. I told myself that, until the cracks started whispering. It wasn't one thing. It never is. It was the way she turned her screen face down when I entered the room, the way she started showering longer, later, as if heat could wash off guilt, the sudden interest in clothes she never wore for me anymore. I noticed everything. I said nothing. That's what she miscalculated. She thought my silence was blindness. She didn't understand that I had spent my entire life learning how to observe without reacting, that love had trained me well. One night she came home smelling like a different soap, citrus, sharp, not ours. I asked, casually, "New shampoo?" She didn't miss a beat. "Gym locker room." A good answer. Practiced. But she had canceled the gym membership 3 months earlier. I remembered because I was the one who noticed the charge disappear from our account. I didn't ask then either. I stored it, filed it away. The mind is a quiet place when you stop demanding explanations and start collecting data. Her absences became predictable. Tuesdays, then Thursdays, always with the same excuse, work dinner. Same restaurant names, same vague complaints about traffic, and always, afterward, a strange tenderness, guilt masquerading as affection, her hand lingering on my shoulder, her voice softer than usual. That hurt more than the lies. It meant she knew. She just thought she was better at hiding than I was at seeing. I didn't confront her. I prepared. There's a discipline to emotional restraint. You learn it when you realize that explosions only benefit the guilty. Quiet is what starves them. Quiet forces them to reveal patterns. I started with the phone records. Not illegally, not dramatically, just a shared account, itemized billing. One number appeared too often, always late, always brief, long enough to matter, short enough to hide. I memorized it. Then I watched. I noticed how she dressed differently on the days that number appeared more frequently, how her posture changed when she left the house, how she became lighter, almost relieved, like someone stepping into a different life for a few hours. I ran background checks the way some men run miles. The number belonged to a man named Daniel, divorced, no kids, lived 15 minutes away, worked in real estate, the kind of man who posts motivational quotes and believes he's deeper than he is. I didn't hate him. That surprised me. He was incidental, a symptom, replaceable. The real betrayal was structural. It lived in the way she compartmentalized me, reduced 18 years into something she could step away from without shaking. I ordered a DNA test, not because I suspected the children, but because I needed to know how far the lies went. Deception doesn't stop where it's convenient. It spreads. It roots itself into everything. The waiting was the hardest part, not because I was afraid of the result, but because I had to keep pretending nothing was happening. I kissed her goodnight. I asked about her day. I listened. Inside, I rehearsed futures, each one colder than the last. The results arrived on a Wednesday. Digital, clean, clinical, everything confirmed. The children were mine. That should have comforted me. It didn't. It clarified something darker. She hadn't just betrayed me, she had planned to keep me, as a structure, as a safety net, as a background constant while she explored another life. That level of calculation deserved precision in return. I printed the phone records, the timeline, the messages she thought were gone. I didn't include everything, only enough to remove doubt. That night, I placed the folder on the dining table between us. She froze when she saw it, didn't ask what it was, just stared. "Is there something you want to tell me?" I asked. My voice was calm, almost bored. She opened the folder. Her hands shook. Papers rustled like leaves underfoot. Her breath hitched. "How long have you known?" There it was. Not denial, not confusion, recognition. "Long enough," I said. She cried then, real tears, messy, desperate. She reached for me like muscle memory could undo intent. I leaned back. "Please," she whispered, "it didn't mean anything." I looked at her carefully. 18 years condensed into a single sentence. "Then you should have chosen better," I said. I didn't leave that night. That was the mistake she thought she could survive. Instead, I stayed. I became meticulous. I moved assets quietly, changed beneficiaries, documented everything. Not out of cruelty, but out of respect for the truth, for what was owed. I let her think we were repairing something. Couples counseling, long talks, performative remorse. All the while, I dismantled the scaffolding she leaned on. When I finally told her I was leaving, it wasn't dramatic. It was administrative. The house was already sold, the accounts separated, the narrative controlled. She found out about Daniel's engagement through social media 2 weeks later. He had chosen someone else, someone less complicated, someone who didn't come with 18 years of consequences. She called me, sobbing. "I made a mistake," she said. "Please." I listened. Then I said, "No, you made a choice." Silence. I hung up. People think revenge is loud, that it demands spectacle. They're wrong. The most devastating thing you can do to someone who rewrote your reality is to become unreachable by it. I don't miss her. I miss the version of myself that believed permanence was guaranteed. But that man was naive. He needed to be replaced. Now my life is quiet again. Not the false quiet of shared lies, but the clean kind, the kind that doesn't vibrate at midnight. Sometimes I wonder if she still checks her phone, hoping. I don't. 18 years taught me many things. The last one was this: when someone chooses another life, let them live it without you.